Welcome back, folks, to the Membership Machine Show. This is episode 52. In this show, we're going to be talking about the best scheduling and booking plugins and SaaS apps for your membership website. It's a really important subject. We're going to be looking at some of the key SaaS products on the market and WordPress plugin products on the market. Having a scheduling Canada booking scheduler connected to your membership website is a feature that almost all, not all, but a lot of membership websites need, especially if you're combining membership with coaching. It's really important. We're going to be looking at all the leading products. There are a ton on the market. We can't look at everyone, but I think we've got a great selection to discuss. I've also got my regular co-host for the other regular podcast that I do, the WP-Tonic show. Kirk's going to be helping me for the next few weeks until I get a replacement for Carmen, who unfortunately for personal reasons had to give up being my co-host. We're still great friends though. She's a great lady. So first of all, I'm going to introduce my co-host for this particular show, Kurt. So Kurt, would you like to introduce yourself to the new listeners and viewers?
Yeah, with all those regulars, I guess I have to give a regular introduction. Kurt von Ahnen, I own Mañana No Mas. We focus on membership and learning websites. I also work directly with WP-Tonic and Lifter LMS. And I too miss Carmen.
Yeah, but things happen. Life happens, doesn't it? So before we go into the meat and potatoes of this great show, I've got a couple messages from our major sponsors. We'll be back in a few moments, folks.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Lifter LMS, the leading learning management system solution for WordPress. If you or your client are creating any kind of online course, training-based membership website, or any type of e-learning project, Lifter LMS is the most secure, stable, well-supported solution on the market. Go to lifterlms.com and save 20% at checkout with coupon code podcast20. That's podcast20. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Coming back, folks, I just want to point out that we've got some great special deals from the sponsors. Plus, I've got a curated list of the best WordPress plugins that would really interested to somebody who's looking to build their membership website on the WordPress platform. Save you a ton of time and frustration. You can find all these goodies by going over to wp-tonic.com/deals, wp-tonic.com/deals, and you'll find those special deals plus that curated list there. What more could you ask for? Probably a lot, but that's all you're going to get on that particular page. So before we go into our list, Kurt, what do you think are some of the key features that that if somebody's looking at an appointment scheduling booking solution for their membership website, what are some of the things that you think they need to know before they go on their journey?
A couple of, and it sounds obvious, but you have to say it. You want to reduce the friction that the end user is going to face in booking with you. So it should be something that's intuitive, easy to use, where the user experience is straightforward. Because there's a lot of things where people kind of have to figure it out. So we should take every step to reduce the friction for the end user. And then the other side of the coin, Jonathan, when I think about clients that you and I might interact with, we should pick products that also reduce the friction for these content creators, because they want to be in the business of creating content and selling a service, not running a website and coding the back end.
No, but it's just, yep, I totally agree with you. But if you're running a membership or any type of online business, And, even physical businesses, you get a lot of people that have a kind of physical element to their business, and they're combining it with membership. We discussed that last week's episode, combining a membership with a physical service business of some type. There's a lot of balls you're kind of juggling in the air. So you want systems that can do the job for you, so you can focus your time on the things that will really move the business forward, and not get entrapped in having to deal with technology just for the sake of dealing with technology. Is that making sense, Kurt?
Well, it is. And if I could add one more element that I think is crucial in a business framework for an appointment setting tool, is that the ability to charge should be part of that tool. It should be able to integrate with a payment gateway in some way, because there's a lot of folks that say, set an appointment with me, and then have to chase the money through some other interaction. And you want to be able to do that all in one space.
You certainly do. That's another point. So let's talk about the £100 gorilla on the market. I struggle pronouncing it. Calendly. I don't think I've done too bad this time, but I regularly mispronounce it. How would you pronounce it? Because I struggle, don't
Calendly.
I? Calendly.
Calendly.
Calendly. Here's the £100 gorilla. What's your, it has, everybody, we use it. We use other products as well in WP-Tonic. It's got a strong free product. It's one of the reasons why I was listening to another podcast that was done a couple of months ago, and I think it was the chief marketing officer, and I think she was saying they've got over 20 million users now utilizing this. So before I put what I see as its strengths and weaknesses, what's your view of Calendly and its strengths and weaknesses?
Well, one of the strengths is that freemium example, like a drug dealer. You get to try a little piece for free, and then you figure out you like it, and then you have to start paying if you want the benefits of other tools. With Calendly, I think the free version is acceptable, but you're not going to get any juice out of it until you start paying for it. And then the thing that is the £100 gorilla that you mentioned is it's so ubiquitous in nature. So many people use it that's the familiarity link, right? That's that cornerstone. And when someone goes to book with you and they use Calendly, it's going to put their availability next to your availability on the same screen, which when I talk about reducing friction, that's a really cool feature. But there's a lot of other options I would like to have rather than sending someone out to a third-party SaaS thing.
Well, that's the point. To embed it on your WordPress-powered website, folks, is that it uses iframe, which works. It can cause some problems depending on the theme selection. You can get some odd things, especially in mobile, tablet and mobile view. You can get some odd effects. So you need to check it when you place the iframe code on your WordPress website. The free version isn't crippled, but you really do need to look at what you get at different plan levels. They've had a major change in the last couple of months about their pricing. They used to have a product called Essential. They got rid of that, and they've just gone with you got the free, the standard, and the team and enterprise. They used to have, excluding enterprise, they used to have 4 tiers. They used to have an essential product, but a couple of months ago they got rid of that. So now on the standard, which is aimed at a one individual or 2 individual, if you've got a team, you've got to go up to the 16 per user per month. That's rich. And then you've got the $10 Yeah, when it comes to the interface, I think it works. I think some people criticize the interface a bit. I don't think, the only thing is, I would say it's demerit when it comes to the interface, Kurt, is if you're dealing with multiple countries, you've got clients in multiple countries, the actual they can get confused about, it's not clear. If you're dealing with Northern America, Canada, it's not going to be quite so bad, but it's when it international, the actual UX design is a little bit confusing. What do you think?
I can see where that could happen, but I go back to, it's so ubiquitous. There's so many people on it that I think that's a glitch people can skip over through familiarity.
Yeah, but people do look. It's one of the factors that people look at. And if you've got a team and the team function, it gets expensive. That's one of the reasons why they get driven to looking at some of the other solutions that we're going to be talking about during this show. And there's other like three or four major things. And this international, not choosing the right time zone or not realizing it, it's caused a bit of confusion with me. And you can get it with other solutions as well. It's a little bit there with the one that I'm using that we're going to talk about at the end of the show.
Yeah, the pricing for me is, because I'm cheap. The standard at $10 a month makes all the sense in the world. But when you start growing your team and you go to 3, 4, 5 people on your team that you're trying to share a calendar with, and it's $16 a person, well, next thing you know, you're paying hundreds of dollars a year for that, where there's other more cost-effective options we're going to discuss.
Yeah. Right. So that's the leading SaaS solution, folks. Let's go on to one of the WordPress solutions. Now, all these WordPress solutions at the present moment, the elephant in the room, apart from UX, core functionality, ease of use, which we're going to discuss with each WordPress plugin or SaaS service that we're going to be discussing during the show. The elephant in the room with all the WordPress solutions is the initial connection to your Google or to your 360, your Outlook, Microsoft, connecting it. They all, at the present moment, don't have OAuth, and that's a encrypted token-based system, so you can connect to Google, your Google Calendar or your Microsoft solution with just one click of a button, and you've got to be logged into the specific Google or Microsoft account in your browser window at the same time you make the connection. And then if that's the case, you just exchange the token, bang, the calendar. None of the WordPress solutions offer that. All of them, you've got to go through a slightly long-winded setup with Google. All of them, most of them give reasonably good instructions. For somebody like myself and Kirk, it's not too bad, but for other people, it's definitely not the greatest. But we might have some good news about that. What do you reckon? So that's the general thing. And so let's start with one of the ones, Amelia. Now, Amelia comes from a crew that's well established, a coding shop. They're based in the Eastern Europe. I think it's Bulgaria, but I would have to double check that. They've been around a number of years. It is powerful. They offer a lot of functionality. It's also very powerful in the ticketing ticketing side. It's got a lot of functionality offering for that. It's aimed at yoga studios. It's got a lot of functionality. It offers a lot, and it starts at one domain at $69 a year. The problem is it works and it's pretty rock solid, but UX design, yuck. It's not the greatest UX design. There's too many needs to. It's too. There's always a sweet point, a Goldilocks point. To set it up, you've got to go through a lot of screens in the back end. In the front end, there's too many needs for browser refreshments. And they've got a solid product, and they do add new functionality, but they haven't really done a ton about the UX design. What do you think I've just outlined about it? And what's your own thoughts about this, Kurt?
I think you nail most of my opinion there, Jonathan, except for just a couple of things. I think that the design itself, like you said, it looks, I don't want to say corporate and sterile. It's just kind of like it doesn't have the depth of color, the soft edges. It doesn't have the rounded button looks. It doesn't have that modern feel, which is one thing. The setup is multiple steps, as you described. But when you said it's a powerhouse, it is a powerhouse. So like one of the features they have is, it came up in that yesterday's mastermind call that you and I were on. You can sell packages of services in Amelia. You can have someone buy 10 appointments with you and then schedule those 10 appointments out. That's like a really cool tool, right? But it's that setup on the front end. It's babysitting to make sure everything continues to work. And then if you integrate it with WooCommerce and stuff, obviously that's just more stuff to make sure that you set up correctly and then monitor correctly and, babysit. It's a big chunk of stuff, and it's really powerful, but it takes a lot of work to set it up and I think maintain it.
Yeah, it's a beast. As I was saying, it's a beast. It connects with WooCommerce, Stripe, all the leading payment gateways, folks. It's got a load of core. But you can tell that it's been driven by developers, because they obviously I'm only surmising this, they haven't got the resources in their team that really great UX design. It's not terrible, folks. It's totally usable, and they provide the ability to customize it, but you would need somebody a developer that can customize it, that's got UX, but there's a lot of power there, and we offer it at WP-Tonic because of the power. But so have a look at it. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, there's one more thing I forgot to point out about Amelia, and they really do need a pat on the back for this. Jonathan, their documentation, their how-to section, it is phenomenal. So even though the process is involved, the directions, the graphics, the pictures, the videos, it's all on point. It walks you right through it, but there's a lot of steps and there's a lot of room for error, even though the directions are super clear.
Yeah, that's a great point, because they've been around, and it's it's part of a very large IT service company, and this is their major product in the WordPress space. But they know what they're doing. I just get the feeling that it's a good part of their business, but it's not their main focus. Right, on to the next, which is a SaaS product. Schedule Once. Now they've been taken over, and it's been rebranded as One Hub. I think it's the price, because you can have up to 3 users for $15 a month. They're also pitching it as a kind of, how to put this, they're kind of pitching it in the marketing automation space as well. You get a back-end builder where you can build automatizations. I'm not sure this particular market, because at WP-Tonic we offer automation CRM. They're not providing a CRM, but integrates with the leading CIMs like HubSpot and Zoho or Salesforce. They do offer integrations, and they offer this kind of high end, well, not high end, this kind of, it's a bit of a strange concoction in a way. That was my impression. But I think people look at it because for $15 for 3 users, and it seems to have a polished interface. I haven't used it in anger though. What was your own initial thoughts about the renamed One Hub?
This is one that I don't have a lot of experience with, Jonathan. I did a quick dive on it with your notes, and then of course went through the pricing and the features and benefits and all that stuff. I like the look. I like the design. I love the price. I think what you get for the price is entertaining, because if I tried to do the same thing in Calendly, I would spend more money if I'm looking at any of these paid plans. And I thought that the free version gave a pretty decent selection of ability as well. So I was like, all right, well, that's cool. The booking pages, chatbots, forms, if you use that kind of stuff like you would with Calendly, well, then you have to go into that paid version, because you only get one booking page, one chatbot, one form on the free version. So if you're going to use that stuff in any kind of volume, you have to go into the paid version.
I think thanks for pointing that out, because I missed that. That's the other reason why I think people look at this product, and I think you really focus. I missed on that, is that when you look at the 2 free products, this is much more of an attractive proposition initially, before you have to jump into the paid version where the Calendly, you're getting pretty strong functionality for free, but they've really worked out how to move their people, which is, they can't run a business for free. So, yeah, but I think you really pointed that out well. Thanks for that, Kurt. On to one of the biggest players in the WordPress space, which is Simply Schedule Appointments. I call it SSA for short, because it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? Simply Schedule Appointments, does it? So I call it SSA. It also, like all the WordPress solutions, doesn't offer OAuth. So you still have to initially get it set up with, if you're using a Google or Microsoft Calendar, there's a few loops you've got to jump through. Its biggest strength against Amelia, it does come from a small crew. I've interviewed them on my other podcast. Fabulous people. It's Natalie McLeese and Nathan Taylor. They're the co-founders. Natalie is a very experienced JavaScript developer. Really nice people. This has been their baby for a number of years. The strange thing, its strengths are the opposites of Amelia, and its weaknesses are the strengths of Amelia, if that makes any sense. So what's your views about SSA?
I have a few opinions, and I don't want to, let's go with, the good stuff. The good stuff is, you use the plugin, it becomes part of your website. I'm a fan of that. I like keeping things inside my WordPress property. It does work. It functions really well, and it does reduce friction with the end user, which was one of my original comments at the beginning of our show today. So it does all that. Things I'm not especially fond of. In their pricing model, I can't set this thing up to accept payments through Stripe or PayPal unless I'm on the professional program, which is $199 a year, right? So that's kind of a premium ask to be able to do some e-commerce through my scheduling. And then if I take a look at some of the other steps that they have, it's you've definitely got to be spending some money to use the program. The other thing that I'm critical of is it's one of those plugins you put in your website, and it kind of does that admin dashboard takeover thing. And I don't know about you, Jonathan, but every time I get into a plugin that gives itself its own pages and does all kinds of things in my admin dashboard, I just don't like it. It freaks me out. And I'm an experienced WordPresser. I can only imagine what people that don't have, our track record feel like when they put a product in and it kind of takes over the back end of their website like that.
Well, yeah, you're totally. That's what I was going to say. That the front end actually utilizing the product, it in UX design, it's much more superior than Amelia. It's just really is a lot better. It's pretty rock solid. The code, the two founders know what they're doing. They've been around the WordPress space for a long time. My problem is couple of problems is the pricing structure. You've pointed it out. You've got to go to professional. Really, the plus 99. If you're gonna go from the free, but they would say there's a lot of people that don't need to take. I just think it's a big, a lot are going to have to go for the 199. But if 199, when it comes to core bit of functionality, is a problem, I think you've got probably other problems with your business model. The biggest problems is what you just outlined. That is, it takes over the whole back end, the admin side of it takes over. I just don't like it. The other problem is, and she did Natalie got a little bit shirty with me, is that this has been on the market for a long time and they have not got OAuth sorted. I don't know what the process is with Google. I don't know what the security requirements that they require from a plugin. I don't know if they need to look at your code. I've never done the process of getting that, because you have to apply to Google and you have to apply to Microsoft to be able to utilize the token system.
Yeah.
And I don't know what a nightmare, but this product's been on the market for a long time and they haven't bothered to get it sorted. And that's a problem for me, Kurt. But you could say that about Amelia. Amelia's a bigger and they haven't done it either. So I don't know if it's a really expensive, painful, difficult process if you're WordPress plugin based rather than a SaaS based, because almost all the SaaS based companies have done that, where you got that easy. If you got a Google account and you're trying to link a Google Calendar with this, it's just a click of the button. You don't have to go and build a Google app, your own Google app, and then get a API key. But it's the same thing that people have been forced now with Zoom, isn't it?
Zoom.
It's the same frigging pain, isn't it?
Yep, that's true. It certainly is.
Right. So I think we've done a reasonable. On to the next one. Savvy Carl. What do you know? Do you want me to do a quick intro, or are you happy to give your thoughts and then
I just think it has a really cool feature that I kind of want to play with and learn more about. And that is that calendar overlay feature, where there's no need to switch back and forth between screens to see, when they're available, when you're available, when they're available, when you're available, trying to schedule this. Supposedly this calendar kind of like integrates with other calendar links and overlays its functionality over someone else's calendar, so that they can see when they're available versus when you're available, all on one screen. And I'm really interested to see how many different ways I could try and break that setup.
Yeah, it's the founder is Derek Raymer. Derek Raymer, you probably don't know this, was the co-founder with Rob Rowling, a friend of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the founders of Drip. And when they sold it to Lead Pages, Derek wanted to find a new product, a new challenge, and he developed Savvy Cal. And it's got some cool. It's got a really polished UX interface, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think people love it. You know what I think? This is just my thing. It really appeals to what I call the ConvertKit crowd. Because ConvertKit, which is folks, is a product in the email marketing automation sector. It appeals. They have pushed their marketing to the creator economy, the entrepreneur that's producing a lot of content, that also got a membership site. That's how ConvertKit have positioned themselves. And I get that kind of buzz with Savvy Carl. I can just see the kind of ConvertKit crowd looking at Savvy Carl. Is this making any sense, Kurt?
It is. I mean, it sounds simple, Jonathan, but when you think about their user interface is showing someone a calendar with slots in it to fill in rather than a list of available times, it sounds silly, but it's like revolutionary.
Yeah.
Just the way it's presented.
Yeah, but it's got that kind of the way they're really on message. He really he's a developer that really, he's got a team. It's not only him, but he's obviously understands you. I think if you're going to be successful in the WordPress space and in the SaaS space, the days of just having something that works, you also got to have UX skills. You've got to be able to understand what your users really looking for and present it in a modern way. The barrier's gone up a little bit, if you want to be successful. But
I agree.
Derek knows what he's doing here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Because what happens, folks, is you get to a calendar and you look at a spot, but you don't realise you've booked a spot for that spot that you're booking, right? Then you go to unless you get your calendar up and you've got two screens up, two browsers, and you're checking your Google Calendar or your Microsoft Calendar. But with this system, you can put an overlay of your calendar on top so you don't book and you double booked. Because that's happened to us all, hasn't it? That can be embarrassing. But I think to some people that's really important. But it's got other features, but that's one of the main thing that people love about it. And you don't see that in any of the other solutions, do you? I haven't come across it. Have you, Kurt?
No, it's the only one that I've seen like that. And I think if we're going to be fair, we should mention the pricing because we didn't, we mentioned it for everyone else. It's, they have a free version and then they have the $12 per month per user example, which if we were to talk fairly like we did with Calendly, if you had a team, that would start to add up.
Yeah, it's not, he's going for the premium. That's why I think it's got a lot, because ConvertKit isn't cheap.
No.
They know how to charge ConvertKit. So it's in this semi-premier. You get really good functionality with nice UX design. It's a polished product, but it's not in the value market, is it?
No, I kind of want to try it. He should watch this show and send us a demo link.
I'm going to try and get him on the show because I can ask Rob if he introduced me, because I think Derek, he's quite an open guy and it'd be an interesting discussion. So what are we doing for time? I think it's time for a break. We're going to go for our mid-break, folks. Got a couple of more messages from sponsors. It's been a fab show. I've really enjoyed the discussion with Kurt. We will be back in a few moments, folks. Coming back, folks. Just want to point out, if you're looking to build your membership community website, you should look at the WordPress platform. It drives over between 43 and 50% of all websites. There's a reason why that is. You also, if you decide to do that, you need a good hosting provider that offers a lot more than just really great hosting, and that's what you get at WP-Tonic. I honestly feel that with me and my team, we offer amazing package aimed at those that are looking to build a membership community website on WordPress. I think we offer a premier service at amazing value. So go over there, book a chat with me and my team, and we'd love you to build your membership website with us. Right, let's go on. So I was wondering how to approach this, folks, because in the WordPress, if you're looking for a Canada solution, there's two big choices in the WordPress space, excluding SaaS. Are you going to go with a native WordPress plugin solution, or are you going to, have you got WooCommerce installed and you're using WooCommerce? And if that's the case, there are add-ons that can give you scheduling and booking functionality, but you've got to install. I was in two minds even to talk about this in this show, but I think you have to. So first of all, what's your own thoughts about us talking? Because I'm not going to go into extensive diet, because I've got three here. And I'm just going to quickly go through. I think they're three of the leaders. There's about 10 in the word. We could do a whole episode just on, but I just don't think, I think what I've chosen to talk about was the right approach. So I've just chosen three and we can quickly blast them. But so what's your own view about this? Because I think it is a clear choice if you talk about a real plugin, and then you've got WooCommerce with these add-ons, isn't it?
Fundamentally, Jonathan, I have issues with WooCommerce in general. It's shopping for WooCommerce add-ons is like blindly stepping into the WordPress repository for me. It's there's descriptions. I don't know if the descriptions are complete. I don't know if they're full. I start to compare features to prices. And in the three that we're going to discuss, Jonathan, one of the first ones I think is the one where if we go to the bottom of the page, it's actually going to have a comparison of other, like add-ons. And it's $89 and its competitor product is $249. And the one that's $89 has more features on the list. When I shop in WooCommerce as a customer, I'm always confused. Like I'm never sure I made the right choice. And I think it's like computer shopping at Best Buy. You walk in knowing you need a new computer, but by the time you look at 300 different models, you have no idea what you're shopping for anymore. And I feel that way when I'm at Woo. But
I think that I wasn't gonna. You've worded it superbly there. It's great if you've got a developer building your site and you need WooCommerce for marketing automation as an engine. It's not too bad installing WooCommerce. You need good hosting, but you're going to need good hosting with a membership community buddy boss website anyway. Adding WooCommerce engine ain't going to add, because you need decent hosting anyway. But then it's all these add-ons, and you go into the WooCommerce section and look. It's a dog's breath, especially if you're a DIY. You just want to get something up and running. Because, like I say, we could do a whole show just talking about scheduling and booking add-ons in the WooCommerce space, folks. There's over 10, 15. So the three I've got here is I've got WooCommerce appointments. That seems to be one of the leading. Price, one domain, 89. 5 domains, 129. 25 domains, 299. Definitely aimed but they're all aimed quasar at the developer market. But for 89, then WooCommerce booking, 20.75 per month. Or this is the other thing, because if you're buying them directly through the WooCommerce add-on library website, their pricing model is ridiculous. That's why I don't want to touch it, because they got a kind of SaaS pricing model of $20 billion per add-on per month or whatever they want to charge, or you can buy the yearly thing for $249, and then you're going to have to buy 3 or 4 other add-ons through there. Some of the other providers, they've skipped sending it through the WooCommerce official add-on library, and they're trying to sell to you direct. The reason why they do that is that the WooCommerce official add-on library marketplace is probably better. The pricing is, I just think it's ridiculous. Would you agree with what I've just outlined?
I completely agree. We could go subscriptions. It's $250 a year to add subscriptions to your WooCommerce shopping cart. And if you're a membership site, your whole plan is based on recurring income. It's difficult. It's difficult to when you line up all these products and you go, okay, so the cart's free, but to make the cart work, you have to pay this much, this much, this much, and everything's an add-on. So your expenses can spool pretty quickly. So there's the goal, right? Get your first 10 paid customers immediately, and start bringing in some revenue on your project so you can justify these expenses. But for startups, a lot of folks would struggle with this.
No, I think what I advise people is to look at WooCommerce when you've got your membership up and running, and you've got your first 50, 100 students in, and you're looking to do sophisticated upsells, because with cart flows, then you can work with cart flows and have a really sophisticated one-page shopping cart experience. But it's worth the investment at the right stage, but not when you're getting going. But if you've got 100 students, the cost of this going the WooCommerce isn't so important, because you got it's all a balance basically. So yeah. I think we'll move on, because right, let's get this pronunciation correct. Appointment. Am I correct?
Appointlet,
yeah. I think people look at this because of the international side of it, because it covers in languages. And I think the pricing is reasonably attractive. It's $10 per user, but I think it deals. I was looking at what people were saying, giving it video reviews. What they're saying, one of the things was it was dealing with some of the Calendly's not major problems. It's just around it, international booking and team booking. It seems a more business focused, without the other one that we discussed in the first half of the show, which was One Hub. It's definitely a more team, corporate kind of product. Would you agree what I'm outlining?
What I liked about it was, for a team, it did feature that round robin meeting distribution tool, which a lot of them do, right? So, but this one has it. It's half the cost of Calendly, on a per member basis if I have a team. So that's a really good way to cut my expenses. And to your point, Jonathan, the idea that the appointment page can be served in different languages, the scheduling page language, that's a big sell.
Yeah, they're definitely. I can see why they're getting traction. Where the actually, I see their selling points a little bit stronger than One Hub. But, well, that's not right. I think the One Hub, if the chat functionality and being able to kind of use kind of if-then logic, so you can build an actual marketing automation flow. I can see that being, if you're looking for that without going the full marketing automation platform, I can see. So I think they've found it. They both found their niche. Where Savical, they've found their niche because I see their niche as being the kind of ConvertKit crowd. But that's only my take on it. Could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Right. So let's go on to the one I'm really excited about. That I was so chuffed that they entered this market, and I think they're really on a winner. And that's Fluent Booking. They also, at the present moment, haven't got OAuth, this token integration. They do provide really good instructions, but I would say all of them do, about how you get this long-winded initial setup. If you want to link it with your Google Calendar, or Microsoft, which almost everybody will want to. But I've been told by the founder that they're getting on with that, and that OAuth will hopefully be offered in the near future, and that is great news. But what I love about it is that it's from the Fluent people, and you might not know this, listeners and viewers. Fluent provides one of the best marketing automation plugin solutions, Fluent CRM, and they also offer one of the best free and premier form plugins, Fluent Forms, and they've got a couple of other plugin solutions, and we're big champions of their products at WP-Tonic. We offer a lot of their plugins as part of our hosting package. And I just so delighted because Fluent Booking will really integrate with Fluent CRM. And that's the other thing with I forgot to mention about
Appointlet?
No, I'm just gone blank. With SSA, Simply Schedule Appointments. It really works with WP Fusion. Which works well with Lifter or LearnDash, that kind of scenarios when you're trying to trigger marketing automation, which you get part of WP-Tonic, but it's a great thing, WP Fusion, but it's another step. What this is going to offer is you're going to be able to do really kind of trigger marketing automatizations. I'm going off thin then. Let's get back to it, Jonathan. I'm going off track here a little bit. It's got a really Calendly kind of interface, but they've done it well, I think. And it's $199 for one domain for 1 year. And I'm just delighted about it because this team are strong, and the integration with the other products, and they've done, so I think the front end is done well, and they haven't done the mistake of some of the other WordPress plugins. Its integration with the back end is pretty polished and done in the right way, and I just think it's a new product. It's going to have some slight bugs, but the team are big behind it. It's a big coding shop. They know what they're doing. They've got the right attitude. I'm really excited. So what's your feelings about it, Kurt?
Well, this is one of the ones, Jonathan, that, you got me access to one of the beta versions. I got to test it kind of early, and I put it in a site, and, Jonathan, it did everything they said it was going to do, and it looked great doing it. So it was like, to your point, it's like embedding Calendly in your site almost, except that it goes that step further that I really like. I love when all of my tools are in my URL. Like, I like having the CRM in my WordPress site. I like having my calendar inside my WordPress site. So being able to take a tool that is as user-friendly and frictionless, because that was my term from the beginning of the show, and then being able to put that directly into my WordPress site, I'm sold. I like it. I think it's a winner.
Yeah, I've with the integration with Fluent CRM, which really, I just consider it as almost as good as ActiveCampaign at 1/3 the cost. And if you add it to we combine it with our partner SendGrid, and it's all part of our hosting package. It's just tremendous to have this with the Fluent, because I consider the Fluent the free plugin. I could, apart from these complicated, we can also offer Gravity, but we use Gravity for kind of custom development. But if you're not in that custom functionality need, Fluent Forms, I just see it as the clear leader in the free to premier form market. There's some solutions out there that I think are grossly over expensive, and the Fluent Form, just the free version, is fantastic. And then you buy the Pro, which you get part of WP-Tonic. I just think it blows away almost all the other, apart from that kind of niche where you need Gravity forms. How would you respond to what I've just said?
Well, you nailed it with the use of Gravity, right? Because there's Gravity Forms with Gravity View, and you can do different things with the content that comes through. But a lot of people don't have the appetite for that kind of work to go into what they're doing, right? So if we're going to talk about an active CRM, that allows some automation, put it together with the form. Don't forget they have the SMPT, so you know that you're going to get to everybody's inboxes. And then you put the scheduler in, that you can embed with shortcode or put anywhere in your website you want. Dude, this whole thing becomes a suite of, communication, automation, and it just works well together because it's all meant it's like playing with Legos, man. It's each of these Lego pieces.
But people just don't realize with a membership, with Lifter, with this suite, with Buddy Boss, with this suite, you got something that's superior to any SaaS product, haven't you?
Well, dude, you can set up your upsells, your downsells, your cross sells, your lead magnets. You can do the whole thing, onboarding, set appointments, coaching, live sessions. You can really just get super creative from the course creator standpoint or membership standpoint with these products, because you want to compare this to a SaaS example. How much money do you want to pay to have a really good representation in a Kajabi example or something like that, when you can build and host all this stuff, to your point, on WP-Tonic for a fraction of the cost and have all the tools.
And it's more powerful.
Yeah. And you own the content. And if you want to change the look of it, or you want to update a theme, or you want to do something crazy, it's yours. You can do it. Or you could have a staging site, play all you want in staging without messing up your live site, and then, swap it out when you're ready. Dude, it's the options are crazy.
On to, as I was doing, and we've only touched, because I've got a list here which I never shared. We could have talked about Square appointments, utility scheduling, Setmore, Pick Time, Zolo Meeting, Google Workspace have a solution, Honeybook, Appointly. They're just some of the SaaS competitors. There are a lot of SaaS competitors in this sector, right? But two bonus came on my radar through the research for the show, folks. And one was one I have used and I utilize regularly in my own business, folks. The other one I haven't. So we start with the one I haven't used, but it's something called Tidy Carl. And it's supposed to have the kind of one price and multiple users. Lifetime, am I right about that one? Right. But it's got a lifetime deal of $29. They're probably like these crazy, this seems too good to be true. How they get, because what's your own view about Tidy Cow? Because I think it was on your radar a little bit anyway, and because I kind of sprung this on Kirk at the last minute. I said I was going to add couple of bonus. But I think you knew about Tidyco anyway, didn't you?
I've had customers use it in the past, and people that sign up for it like it. So I'm not in a position to say that it doesn't work or that it's failed or any of those things. And Jonathan, when you get to that, these AppSumo deals, I've signed up for a few AppSumo deals that have actually really worked out.
Yeah.
And this is one of those deals, $29 lifetime. And I think it's lifetime for 10 users. Was it 10
I
users?
didn't check that. That is, you can see what I get.
Maximum calendar connections. So maximum calendar connections is 10. So you can connect up, sync with up to 10 different calendars on this thing.
They got a pretty good free product, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. But that lifetime, dude, for $30 lifetime, email reminders, group bookings, package bookings, it just goes on and on. So, will it work? Yes. Now the question is, when you embed an iframe into your site, does it look all wonky or does it work? And then you have to get into the details. But for $30, check it out. You can always link off your site to make appointments, and you saved money doing it.
Yeah,
that's 3 months of Calendly, dude.
He's calling me dude a lot. Americans do this. I don't know why. I've never got used to it, folks. Calling me dude, but all Americans do it to me, right?
You just called me regular like 4 times in my introduction, so I'm getting you back. My regular guy with the regular kind of dude.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Book like a boss.
Jonathan books like a boss.
Pardon?
Jonathan books like a boss.
Do I? Oh, I'm just a donkey. That's what I just plod along. Yeah, I bought its lifetime deal. It's really interesting. I interviewed on the other show, folks. I interviewed the CEO. He's an interesting character. And I got the lifetime deal. The only thing with it, it's got the book like the boss branding, but it's rock solid and it offers a ton of functionality. Especially in it's really popular in the coaching sector because it offers a ton of functionality, and it offers a kind of one-page about us page, the calendar, the iframe. It starts at, they've got a kind of coffee metaphor here. Obviously, he likes his coffee. But you've got your espresso at $7, and it's got funny pricing structures, $7.50, and then you got maca at $10, and then cappuccino at $15.83. I don't get these $7.50 and these $15.83, and then the latte at $24.16. Why $24.16 or $15.83? I'm not getting it myself. That kind of struck out, but I've been using it for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's rock solid, and it works and it's got the interface. What can you say about the interface? I don't think you just can go into it. I think I get lost with it. It's got different core functionality spread over all different screens. Basically, it's a HubSpot. The UX backend UX design is not that coherent in my own opinion, but the front end and the basic functionality, it works. What's your own views about Book Like the Boss?
The fact that you likened it to HubSpot, my brain just clicked back on, and that's a perfect example of SaaS products that perform extremely well, but confuse the crud out of the people that are supposed to use them. I'll sign into HubSpot and I'll be like, oh, it's free. I'll try it again. And I try it again and I sign in and I go, now what am I supposed to do in here? It happens every single time. And so I kind of feel that way in Book Like a Boss. So I think it just takes an acclimation period to get used to it.
It's got different functionality spread over about 15 different freaking screens, hasn't it?
They do have the recurring booking feature, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, they do. And it works. It's rock solid. I've been happy with it. You know, I got the lifetime. I know a lot of people when we were pushing it, coaches. We know people. Susan that I work with, she's got booked like the boss. There's a lot of people in the WordPress community that got it. Freelancers.
A lot of leadership coaches, people I picture wearing a tie and a suit jacket, use the book like a boss.
Yeah, that's not me, really, is it?
Sometimes you got to work to fit in, man.
Yeah, well, right. All right, then. I think we've had a good show. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think we've given some real value in this show. So Kurt, what's the best way for people to find out? And Kurt's got he's got enormous knowledge about if you're looking to set up your membership website. He's worked with some large corporate clients and directly worked in senior management, and he really knows. He can consult and advise you. I would highly recommend him. So Kurt, what's the best way for people to find out more about you and what you're up to?
LinkedIn's a great way to get in touch with me because you can't get me confused with another Kurt von Ahnen. I'm the only one there. The other thing is anything that's branded Mañana No Mas online comes right to me. So those are two great ways to get in touch. And I'd love to see people come into the Mañana No Mas podcast sometimes.
That's great. Yeah, you do. Kurt does a great podcast as well. We will be back next week. I just want to point out, please join us on the Facebook group, the WP-Tonic Membership Machine Show Facebook group. You get some great knowledge there. We've got a great group of developers and entrepreneurs trying to build a membership website on WordPress. Join it. It's totally free. You get a lot more additional, be a hub for all the information that WP-Tonic and the Membership Machine Show provides around membership. So it's a great resource. So go and join us there. We will be back next week with another great topic. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye.